You're listening to the Wayward Atheist Podcast. Hello, everyone. If this is your first time listening, thank you for joining us. This is a podcast where borders collide, where the gloves are off, where filters are removed, where we tell you exactly what we think about the news, politics, and religion. The Wayward Atheist Podcast is dedicated to free thought, reason, and the pursuit of truth. You can follow us on Twitter at Wayward Atheist, on Spreaker, Stitcher, and iTunes. You can email us at waywardatheistpodcast@gmail.com. or leave us a comment on our Facebook page. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Wayward Atheist Podcast. I'm Dave, aka the Great White North.
I'm Big Black Gay Dave.
I'm Ed, the Everyday Atheist.
And I'm Dustin Dark.
How's it going, guys?
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Just okay, not good. Anyways, we'll start with David. How was your week, Dave?
It's been okay. Some family stuff going on. But I have learned half of the Japanese pure sound, katakana, hiragana. So I'm making my way through that.
Let's hear it.
You probably don't want me to recite like syllables, but
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want to hear it.
or like a, e, u, a, o, and ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, and all that. But no. But like I'm memorizing. It's right now I'm in this rote stage of memorizing syllables and the katakana, hiragana. And hopefully I'm maybe 1% toward.
I heard bukake in there somewhere. Run through those one more time.
Well, like with the syllables, right? It's
yes.
But yeah, like that's the whole process of learning language is memorizing the syllabary. It's all about based on syllables and stuff like that. So I am about halfway done, and we'll see in about 6 months where I come out.
Are you planning on heading over there? Is that what this is all about?
I actually do want to. I think that's my next major trip. This international trip is heading to Japan.
Are you going to go to Fukushima? Get yourself some fucking radiation poisoning?
I'm thinking Tokyo. You know, which is a safe place.
What's that?
You don't want to be a superhero?
Yeah. What's that famous crosswalk in Tokyo? You know the one I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, so there's a famous crosswalk that like rush hour time is like it looks like LA traffic, but it's people, and it's like this cross. It's in the business section of downtown Tokyo, and it's just a fucking sea of people, but it's very orderly.
And I think I know what you mean. I think we're starting to get that here in Toronto too, with like the multi-cross sort of all-way crossing thing. Yeah. I'm hoping to be sort of absorbed in the culture and language and all that. I don't know. Being black and also in Japan is an interesting experience. I've been looking at videos and stuff like that, and apparently it's a cool experience. So once I get more command of the language, I am hoping to get there and see what it's about.
Right on. And Edward.
Yeah.
Well, I got blocked by 14 people on Twitter. Mormons basically. So I'm getting a great trophy room of blocked accounts. So other than that, my week's been pretty dull and boring.
What do you have to do to get blocked by a Mormon?
Just tell them that their religion is bullshit.
I was waiting for like some badass story, like you showed them your dick or.
No, man. I said one comment,
and 14 of them blocked you all like that. Like it was like a fucking block bomb.
Yeah, like one person said, "Oh, we should send Mormons over to see you," and I said, "Yeah, no. I served a mission for 2 years. There's nothing they can teach me. Maybe I could teach them that their religion is bullshit." Block.
I would have said, "Send them. Bring it, bitch."
You know, that would make an interesting podcast. We should have some Mormons on sometime and talk to them.
Oh,
well, we're having an ex-Mormon next week, right?
Yeah. Bryce is going to be here.
Of the Naked
I can't wait.
Of the Naked Mormon podcast.
That's an excellent show. I enjoy listening to it, so it should be nice.
I like the idea of being dispatched to help you. You know, like
fucking Book of Mormon in hand, pamphlets.
go. Cure the apostate. Report back to me when your mission's accomplished.
The mission, part 2. Edward versus Europe.
No, I got blocked by another one when I went onward indoctrinated soldiers, and I got blocked.
Oh, too close to home, Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their feelings, Ed. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, but I sent a wonderful note to their prophet on Twitter saying, if you get so many things wrong, when do you start doubting your own gifts of prophecy?
Oh, shit.
I'm still on his account. Nothing.
I didn't even read it.
No, pissed me off. I was hoping that I get a nice block.
He's like,
I got a centerpiece on my Twitter account.
Oh, I'll tell you why you're not blocked.
Why?
Your last name is Smith. There's no way he'd want to bring the judgment down upon him for blocking a Smith.
That's it. That's it.
I've noticed too, I think Twitter's changed the way they've been blocking, because I looked up Steve Shives, and it isn't necessarily so that I'm blocked, but like you just don't see. It says that they haven't tweeted in a while, but you know they've blocked you.
Dude, I mean, you haven't even said anything to Steve Shives.
No,
and you're blocked.
Steve Shives has like shadow block bots where it blocks you based off the people that you follow, right? So if you follow somebody that he's blocked, so I guess who interacts with him now?
I just would like to say that Steve Shives is a upstanding gentleman and intellectually honest person that I like to listen to and follow frequently. And you can catch other bullshit lies of mine further on in the episode. And Dustin, you've had an exciting week, haven't you?
Well, I'm sitting in an empty apartment, pretty much just a chair and a laptop and a microphone to record this.
Did you get robbed or something? What the fuck?
No, I'm smack in the middle of a move. My lease is up tomorrow. I'm going to grab the last few things. The only reason I haven't moved on to my new place is the internet's not going to be on there until Wednesday. So I had to be here for this recording. So if my audio sounds a little off, it's because I am in a completely empty apartment and there's not much I can do about the echo at this point.
I was thinking about that. Like, have you tried to ever record a song? Because I know you're a songwriter. Have you tried to ever sing a song in an empty apartment with empty apartment acoustics?
Actually, I did that this morning. Because my place is empty. Yeah, I have. Well, of course you're going to. You have an empty place, and I have hardwood floors, and all the walls are flat. You get good reverb, and yeah, that's. I mean, I taught myself how to sing by sitting in the bathroom and playing. That way you can hear yourself real well. Not that I'm a very good singer, but
I heard bathroom by yourself, and you taught yourself something. That's all I heard.
Oh, well, I taught myself about the male G-spot, Ed. Would you like me to send you a sketch of what happened?
Yes, please.
I'll get right on it.
And do you have a podcast to recommend for us this week?
I don't have a podcast to recommend for us.
I do.
Anyone this week? No. Oh, picking up my slack. Is that my thing now? Do I need to have one every week?
Well, you kind of did, right? The past.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, something like that. So maybe I should get back on that. This week's been too crazy though, man. Jesus, I barely got the editing done for the show and everything this week. So
yeah, right on. Okay, so I have more news about my son. So he actually put together a full sentence. So I was sitting on the chair, and he's got like sensory deprivation headphones, and he came up to me and he said, "Headphones?" And I said, "What's that, buddy?" And he said, "Headphones. I don't know where they are."
Holy wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking.
That's pretty cool.
Sweet, yeah. I have to admit, I got a little emotional when you did that.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I got pretty emotional about it, and I got excited. So I went and got him his headphones, and yeah, hopefully there'll be a lot more of that going on.
It's got to be rewarding though for you, Dave, like for being so long and nothing, and then now it's starting to come out and really clear. It's got to be rewarding this because of the things that you put into it to get him to speak.
Yeah, I don't know if I look at it as rewarding. It's just more like fucking grateful, thankful, and just happy. Because I didn't really. I know, like maybe I should have been looking at it like an investment into his future, but I just looked at it as something that had to be done, like all the therapy. Because I mean, you have a kid. He didn't ask to be born into the world, and he came into the world with this deficit and this hardship. And as a parent, if financially you can, then you should put up the money. And even if you can't do that, you should teach yourself how to do the therapy, because there is ways of doing it online and checking into this stuff. Like, you shouldn't just do nothing, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, of course.
But there are a lot of parents that do nothing about it. So
what interests me about your story there and what you said and what he recited was the use of the word they, right? He said headphones, and I don't know where they are. Like, he could have easily said, I don't know where headphones are, but he used like a pronoun.
Yeah.
So like, he's probably been picking up some kind of language. Like, that's more of a complicated language concept to learn. And clearly he's been picking up that type of complexity.
And it was full, and it meant something too, right? Like, it wasn't just some sentence, because like, even when he was really young, he would do what was called scripting. So like, he would hear a commercial and then later on recite the commercial. So like, they always played the State Farm commercial during The Walking Dead, and he'd run around reciting the State Farm commercial, and like, sometimes he'd run by you and you'd hear him yell, recyclable, very recyclable. But this is all scripting. It was like, he's talking, but it's nonsense. It doesn't have any context to it. Where this is, very
it's produced language.
It's produced language. It's action oriented. Yeah, I'm stoked about it anyways.
Well, it shows that his brain is engaged in creating the concept, right? It's not just like you said earlier, scripting.
Yeah, for sure. So and then I've been listening to this new podcast called Intercepted, and it's really, really well put together. It's done by 2 journalists. Every episode on it is a critical look at Donald Trump. It's not like how I make fun of his little hands or whatever. It's actual policies and then actual stories and scandals put together by journalists that have integrity. And they take both Democrats and Republicans to task on it. And they seem to be pretty straight shooters, even though like, I would have to say that they're probably left guys. They're very they have integrity in what they're doing. So that's Intercepted on Spreaker.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we'll be right back. We'll get into the show proper. Okay, and we're back from the break. If you don't know, this Sunday is World Autism Awareness Day, and the entire month of April is World Autism Awareness Month. As all the listeners know, I have a son that's severely autistic, and Ed wants to ask me some questions about that. I think he's going to try to make me cry or whatever, so let's jump into it.
My first question, Dave, is, when Rain was first born, and how long before you found out or you figured out that there was something that needed to be addressed by medical professionals?
Okay, well, when babies are babies, they all act autistic, so there's no real way of knowing. It's later on when they stop hitting developmental curves like language. Some of them have gross motor skills, fine motor skills, delays, obviously speech delays, no eye contact, don't respond to their name. And I guess like it was actually Tracy that started noticing it at first, because she was the one that was following the developmental markers in books. And up until he was about, 18 months, 2 years old, he was meeting all of them. And a couple times he was early on them, but then he just stopped meeting those markers. But, like if you talk to a regular physician, they'll say things like, well, boys' speech comes later than girls, and you're a first-time parent, so you don't really put too much stock in it. Plus, you don't really want them to be autistic or whatever, so you kind of justify the reason for him not hitting markers in your own mind. But eventually, it was just something that was undeniable, and for some reason, like, even though the other stuff in healthcare in Canada, there's not like the crazy waiting list that American right-wing politicians like to make it out to be. For autism, the waiting lists are super long because I guess it's just something they haven't put a lot of money into because A, nobody knows what causes it. B, there's no cure for it. So I guess they're more concentrating on things that are curable. So we could have waited for CHEO, which is the Children's Hospital here in Ottawa, to do an assessment, but we thought it was too long, so we took him to a private clinic called Emerging Minds and paid for them to do an assessment. And the psychiatrist there, or psychologist, sorry, there did an assessment on him and told us that he was autistic.
And did you know much about autism at that time, or was it like a crash course you had to start?
It was like so like I had seen autistic children before, but their autism was different because, as if you don't know, autism is a wide spectrum, and no two autistic children are the same. They may display some behaviors and not some others, and like the other autistic children that I had seen, they came from very dysfunctional homes with, drug abusing parents and violence and stuff. So the autistic children that I had seen were like the ones that would smack their own head off the floor and do stuff like that. My son never behaved in those manners, so it was kind of a hard pill to swallow.
So you get the diagnosis and you start, I assume right away, you start learning as much as you can about.
Yes.
No, I was just wondering, how long of a progression did you, like, before you could actually say, okay, I have a good grasp of what autism is, and here's the line of information that I have to do to help my son.
Okay, so I started looking at what the science said, what therapists said, where Tracy kind of took and not that she's not smart, because she's super smart. It's just she took the try anything approach, and we ended up in places where, it's like bio doctors that think that it's in the gut flora and that vaccines cause it. People trying to convince us to send them to dolphin therapy and all kinds of nonsense like that. But I kind of just read what the actual research said. It was like IBI is your best chance at it. But I went along with the other stuff until it became a point where it was like, it was too quackery and it was starting to cost a lot of money in the wrong places, because I was thinking, the money should be going to the therapy. And I even let her try the gluten-free, casein-free diet, but I told her that I was going to take data. So prior to starting it, I took data on his behavior, like outbursts and his language, how many words, if he had any words at the time, so on and so forth. And then we put him on the gluten-free, casein-free diet, and I took data for a month. We kept him on it for a month after, and there was zero change whatsoever. The only thing I got was because casein is in milk, I got a child that hasn't drank milk since he was 3, because that month interruption, he didn't want milk anymore after that. So you get on a waiting list for IBI, which they tell you is like the magic bullet, the only thing that works, and the waiting lists are very long. So, but we got on there and we waited for a few years for it to come, and then he got his IBI, and you're supposed to get 12 months. And after 6 months, they told us that his autism was too severe and there was nothing they could do about it. And they kicked him out, basically. So then we started paying for it private.
Can you explain what IBI means?
So IBI is intense behavioral intervention. So it's like a therapist and Rain sit at a table and they just drive everyday functions into their head over and over again, trying to get them to speak or like do simple tasks. And it's 8 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week.
So can you describe a typical day with someone with autism? What did you encounter?
Okay, so I can tell you a typical day for my son, because as I said, no two autistic people are the same and they don't display the same behaviors. So like most of them have food issues, where my son has never seen anything that he doesn't like to eat. So like if you're cutting a watermelon and you core it, you leave the core on the counter, he'll eat that. Like he seriously doesn't give a shit what it tastes like. He'll just eat whatever. So I usually get him up at about 7 or so and then give him breakfast straight away. And he'll hammer that down and then get him ready for his bus. Maybe he'll cry a little while, maybe he won't. It all depends. He usually runs back and forth humming. Get him dressed, put him on his van, and then he goes to school. After school, come home. Like, you have to have food ready for him as soon as he gets in the door, because if you don't have food ready for him, he's going to go into like a meltdown. And he bites himself, so he's not violent towards other people, but he will bite himself, and he's got a pretty significant callus that's probably about 6 inches long and 3 inches wide on his top of his hand from biting it. Like, you can actually hear him crunching when he does bite. So then he'll eat that. Oh yeah, and he's not potty trained fully, so you do have to contend with a 7-year-old going in a diaper. So that fucking sucks.
And you do have another son. So, and what is the dynamic between the two?
It's hit and miss. Like, Brain usually ignores Parker unless Parker pisses him off, then he'll bite himself. But every once in a while they'll play together. It's usually some kind of tickle game, because autistic children, they don't play with toys functionally like most children do. They don't really know what to do, because part of autism is that they think of it as like a learning disability for mimicking behavior, and that's why they don't understand emotion in somebody's face. Like when somebody's mad at them, they may act inappropriately and laugh, or when somebody's happy with them, they may get mad because they don't really know how to react to that emotion because they haven't mimicked it themselves.
And when he gets into what you call a meltdown, mm-hmm. does that usually last a large length of time?
It can. Or is it can last all day, or it can last 10 minutes.
And since he's coming out and speaking a lot more lately, have you seen the meltdowns decrease?
Yes, because I think he's starting to finally figure out that language is the easiest way to get what he wants. Because I think a lot of it was frustration due to not being able to communicate what his problem is or what his need was. So basically before, when he'd have a meltdown, I would just start running through things like, is he thirsty? Is he hungry? Does he need a diaper change? Is things too loud? Does he need his headphones? And now it's a lot easier because he like a lot of times he'll just come up to you and say water, meaning you want something to drink.
And you talk about headphones.
Yes.
Can you explain to us why he has those headphones?
Okay, so everybody has receptors in their brain that communicates pain, and you also have hearing receptors. Well, for some autistic people, some sounds enact a pain receptor. So like when you hear people say loud noises hurt autistic people, it's because it's actually functionally hitting that pain receptor in their brain.
Wow, that's interesting. So the headset, I'm assuming, cancels out high pitched noises.
Yeah, it's the same as your shooting headset. that you use at the range. Like, he still needs to be able to hear, but it needs to be dulled down to the point where it's not going to be, it's like sound deprivation, I guess, like, but not completely tuning it up.
And what is the prognosis for the future? Do you have any idea how far he could?
No, they can't. They can't tell you anything at all. Like, my assumption is, like, I didn't even think he'd get as far as he has right now. My assumption is that, well, I guess I 100% know that he'll never be functionally independent. So he'll live with me until I die or until I can't take care of him anymore.
Okay. But I mean, have autistic people, have they been able to live on their own in other cases?
Yes, for sure. Like, probably the most famous case is Temple Grennan. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's like world-renowned, like farming expert, I guess. Like, she's...
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, so... And, like, remember, autism is a wide spectrum. So if you have Asperger's, then you're highly intelligent, you're just kind of socially awkward, and you can live on your own. And if you are high functioning, then yeah, you can live on your own. But sometimes when autistic children get older and they get to a certain point, they don't really want to live at home anymore. So they'll go and live in group homes, say when they hit 21, 22.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Do you get a sense, your son's 7 years old, do you get a sense of what his interests might be? What he's passionate about?
Yeah, he loves swimming, like absolutely loves swimming. And now that he's talking, he has to go swimming every day. But swimming is only a couple times a week because he has to go to Aqua Snaps, which is for autistic kids. I guess they try to keep the pool quieter at the time or whatever. He loves to be read to, so he loves books. Now that he can say the word book, he brings you books ad nauseum. Well, you can't say no because he's using functional language, so you have to read them. I swear I've read Pete the Cat probably 100 times. And he likes some cartoons, music. He loves music a lot, and he loves to run. Like, I would say 3/4 of his day is spent running and spinning a rope.
So the odds of him being lethargic and overweight is next to minimal.
No, man, he's got a, I wish I had his body. He's got a ripped ass 6-pack. Like, before, when he was like 15 months or so, like, gross motor skills were never his problem. I used to call him Super Baby because he's super agile. He'd like walk along the top of the couch and like stand on a bar on the futon in the basement. No, he's super agile.
Dave, we talked about it earlier about like your learning curve, and you said that you tried all these different things. Have you come across things that are dangerous and you'd want to?
Yeah, I just want to interject there. So, like, on the bell curve, say I'm going to get him retested, but when he was tested for IBI on a bell curve, say a child with Down syndrome is at about a 12. Rain, before he started IBI and before we started paying for private therapies, was at a 0.9.
Wow. On
learning. So the prognosis back then was not as good as it is now. Basically, back then it was like, no, he's not ever even talk. How does he even walk? You know what I mean? Wow. So anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the question I was trying to get to was, have you ever come across anything that was dangerous, that you knew was dangerous and you just stopped? And is it being perpetuated by other groups out there?
Okay, so like I said, the thing that I knew that was dangerous that I stopped had to do with vaccines, and it was more my wife that had got him into it. So this doctor that's in the Ottawa area, his name is Dr. Coons, and he soaked Tracy for about $1,000, and then after I went out there, and he was trying to say that autism was caused by the gut flora. This will lead into a bigger problem this, but and I went out there and he started talking all this nonsense, and I was like, so do you have anything that's like scientifically peer-reviewed paper that I can see that's actual hard science? And he kept saying, yeah, and I kept asking for it. He never really gave it to us, and we had Parker with us that time, and he started talking to Tracy about not vaccinating Parker, and that he didn't vaccinate his son, and he's sure his son would have been on the spectrum. And as you can imagine, that didn't go very well from that part of the conversation forward. I called him a fucking quack. I called him a Ponzi scheme, and I fucking slammed his office door and heard a picture fall off the wall. Yeah, so fuck that guy.
And we all know that the vaccine theory is debunked thoroughly.
Yeah, so that was Andrew Wakefield, and he's like the godfather of the vaccine causes autism. He did a fake study where he like took like 6 kids. He paid the parents of the children. Like there was just a whole bunch of really shady stuff behind the actual study that he did. But once he did that, it didn't really matter that he had got his medical license taken away for the shady practices that he had done. And it didn't really matter that it was only 6 children that were in the study, because you have people that will just read a headline that states vaccine causes autism, and then you have like Jenny McCarthy going on TV and preaching Dr. Wakefield. I won't even call him Andrew Wakefield's word, and that genie's already out of the bag. So, today, was it you or Dustin that posted the article about the vaccine, the pox that are coming back, measles that are coming back in Europe?
That was Dustin.
Yeah. Well, you can thank Andrew Wakefield for that. So every child that has died due to not being vaccinated by the parents because they're scared that their child is going to get autism, that is on Andrew Wakefield, because before him, that was never even talked about or even fucking heard of. So this dumbass, because people thought that there was a rise in autism before a proper study was done, he was looking for causes of it, and he leached on to vaccines. And as skeptics know, when somebody has an idea in their head, they go looking not for proper answers, but for leading answers that'll lead back to the ideological proposition that they already hold. And so he set up his study in a way to prove his theory or his hypothesis. So when you're that leading, of course you're gonna find that out. But before him, there was no talking about vaccine causes autism. So even here in North America, smallpox and measles have shown their face again, which we haven't seen, and were eradicated in North America, but now are back, and babies are dying because babies are too young to get vaccinated, and some children are immune to vaccination, and some already have illnesses that make it so that they can't have the vaccination, and these children are dying because of this fucking guy and Jenny McCarthy. They legit have the children's deaths on their hands, and they don't really care because they keep spewing their nonsense. So after Andrew Wakefield got his license taken away, he fucked off to Europe and started practicing over there, and that's why you see that issue happening there.
One of the things we did a story on David Avocado Wolf.
Yes,
and he spouts the same bullshit.
Yes, but he also thinks that mushrooms talk to the moon.
Yeah, true enough.
So I mean, like let's be realistic here. But
hold on. I'm gonna defend the man a little bit. I have taken mushrooms, and the moon has spoken to me. Does that count?
Okay, but he's not talking about fucking psilocybin here. He's talking about just your regular healthy mushrooms there.
Oh well, that's no fun. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So like when I was talking about Dr. Kuntz a few minutes ago. So the reason why he's getting Tracy to take poop samples and put him on a gluten-free diet is because there's a faction in I guess for lack of better terms the autism community or the medical side of it that are just as quacky as the vaccination people. I would say that like some of them aren't as dangerous, but some of them are even more dangerous. So what they believe is that there's toxins in your gut flora, and that very well could be. But their theory or their hypothesis is that autism is caused by the toxins in your gut flora. So like any bad bacteria you have in there, any fungus that's growing in there. So that brings us to people that stick bleach up their autistic child's ass to kill the toxins in the gut flora.
When I first heard that, Dave, I thought it was like some Onion article. I didn't realize that it was actually legit, that there's actual people that do that.
Well, since this is an atheist show, I'm going to bring up a church that does it. So, church that peddles bleach as miracle cure for autism continues to be scrutinized by authorities as at least one person is prosecuted. Fucking Christians and their persecution. Anyways, federal prosecutors continue to scrutinize a bizarre church and its exiled founder who claims he was sent here from another galaxy to sell a miracle cure for autism. See, this is the type of shit we deal with because there's no cure and nobody really knows what the cause is. So the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing has been accused of preying on thousands of families with autistic children by selling the corrosive antidote known as Master Mineral Solution, which is nothing more than household bleach, authorities say. They might as well be selling Clorox, Ben Miser of the U.S. Department of Justice told ABC News in an investigation into the church. Miser said so far one person has been prosecuted for selling the so-called cure. They can be prosecuted, yes, if they are selling it in order to cure diseases and are telling people that it will cure the disease, he said. The church's predatory practice started around 2012 in the form of videos and pseudoscientific online seminars intended to sell small bottles of chlorine dioxide, according to Humble's website. Humble, who was once, so this is the originator of stick bleach up your child's ass, was once a gold prospector from Nevada and now says he is a billion-year-old god from another galaxy, writes on one of his websites that he discovered the antidote whilst prospecting for minerals deep in the jungles of South America and used it on a companion who fell ill with malaria. Now the bottles are sold on several fringe websites, including one U.S.-based company that charges $12.95 for a 4-ounce bottle and up to $96 for a package of 12 bottles. The store's site says all sales are donated to the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing. The reason why they say that is so that they don't have to pay the taxes on it. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration warned in 2014 of MMS and other false claims for autism cures. The product becomes a potent chemical that's used as bleach when mixed. According to package directions, FDA has received reports of consumers who say they experience nausea, severe vomiting, and life-threatening low blood pressure after drinking the MMS and citrus juice mixture. The FDA wrote this on its site. Humble blasted back at the FDA, saying they should get on and tell everyone how poisonous the FDA-approved drugs are, according to a video on his site. Humble fled to Mexico when authorities started monitoring his activities. When reached recently by ABC News, he claimed, "It ain't true. And you could tell that he speaks in that tone if you saw the way that he's dressed with his fucking crazy cowboy hat and all that shit. Okay.
He just said it ain't true.
Yeah, he said it ain't
true.
That he's not a con man.
Oh.
It ain't true.
Oh.
What I want to know is how in the hell can they do this to children?
Well,
I mean, people get scammed because they're credulous.
He's a savage, right? So he's a cocksucking barbarian that's taking advantage of parents that will literally try anything because, like, and this is going to get a little personal, so it's probably anecdotal as evidence for anything, but the helplessness that you feel when not even money can fix it, there's nothing that can fix it. And so you don't really, there's no cure, there's no cause. So when somebody comes up to you and you're desperate for answers and you're desperate to help your child and you will absolutely try anything, and you happen to be a religious person and a pastor comes up to you and says, oh, I actually do have the cure and is very convincing, you know, I like, for me personally, I wouldn't go that far, but I could see how that situation would happen. And if you're not really smart enough to know that, like, the chemical compound in that is what they make bleach out of, then, you know, it's not that I wouldn't fucking sock them right in the mouth if I ever saw anybody doing that to an autistic child, because, like, I do, like, this is a kind of an older article. I do know that one child actually died from this practice, and a lot of the other ones, their intestines were burned. And, like, so, like, they would get this is disgusting, sorry guys, they would get a black ooze that was coming out. What he was telling the parents when the ooze would come out is that was actually the autism toxins leaving their body. So they continued and kept buying it because they thought that it was working and that their children were being cured. I would absolutely do awful things to that person if I ever met him. And not I would punch the parents, but like that guy in particular, I would do awful things to that.
Holy fuck. There's not a punishment that I could think that was fitting for that prick. I'm sorry. That just blows my fucking brain.
Yes.
That you would do that to a child. I mean, there are people out there that are fucking credulous, yes. But to do that to a child who's defenseless is beyond reproach.
Okay, and before we wrap this up, I kind of want to break something down for people so that they can get off of this vaccine causes autism thing. So, like, if me explaining Andrew Wakefield, and just Google Andrew Wakefield, you'll see what I'm saying is true. If that isn't enough to convince you, well, so the Australian government decided that they were going to do the world's largest study on autism and see if autism really is on the rise. And what they found is that autism is actually not really on the rise. The spectrum was widened, and our detection of autism is better. And the fact of the matter is that we've given our detection techniques to the third world countries. So now they're able to spot what autism is in the third world countries, and they understand what autism is. So that's driving up the causes of autism. So those autistic people were always there. It was just that they weren't diagnosed, or maybe they were on a different spectrum. So, like, Tourette's is on the autism spectrum now. Asperger's on it. Fragile X is on it. Like, there's a whole bunch of other neurological disorders that actually fall within the autism umbrella. So it's not actually on the rise. We're just better at spotting it.
Okay, last question for you, Dave.
Yeah.
If someone were to say to you, my child has just been diagnosed with autism, where do I go to find information and that is credible, accurate, and like what country? Tell them to start.
What country?
Say Canada.
Canada
or
and the
United
U.S.
States.
Okay, Canada and the U.S. They both have Autism Speaks, and I trust Canada and U.S.'s Autism Speaks. So that would be the first place that I would say to go to. Another good resource is, and I'm not going to be able to give you the names, but if you Google it, you'll find it. There's message boards that parents belong to. I know Tracy belongs to a bunch of them. and they share a lot of local information on the message boards. So like Autism Speaks will give you a wide base and an umbrella so that you can find like good doctors and maybe treatments and the latest studies, like that one study where they're mapping the genome of autistic people and it's just come out on there. So Autism Speaks is good for that. But for local services, I would say that local message boards 100% would be where I would go. If I'm an American and I have insurance, I would quickly get them into IBI as quickly as possible. If I'm Canadian and I'm under the your provincial health, I would quickly pack everything that I own and move to Alberta, because the waiting list in Alberta is only 60 days for IBI treatment. If moving to Alberta is not available and you have to stay in Ontario or anywhere else, and you don't have the money to pay $23,000 a year for part-time IBI and $71,000 a year for full-time, what I would do is I would put up an ad in the university or the college for students that are in their third to fourth year university or second year of college that are taking either the ABA, which is Applied Behavioral Analysis Program, or the IBI program, and I would offer them, $20, $25 an hour to come to your house a few days a week and to administer therapy to your children, because that's what I did in the beginning. I wasn't self-employed back then, and so we couldn't afford to send him to private. So the first thing that I did was I got him a speech therapist. The second thing that I did, I got him a student that came to our home 2-3 days a week and worked with him in the playroom and did the tabletop stuff while you're waiting for the healthcare to provide IBI. But if you're an American, you have insurance for sure. Like, the sooner you get your child into IBI, the greater it is that IBI is going to work. The later it, like, if your child is past 7 and you're just finally getting him diagnosed now, don't bother with IBI. Look for something that you can afford that's going to last for a greater amount of time, because IBI is like a hard punch that's trying to bring their learning curve up to as close to normal as possible, and it's a jolt to the system. And once you're past the age of having that jolt in, it doesn't seem as effective.
All right. Thank you, Dave, for this. This has been an eye-opening conversation, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man. And we'll be heading into the break, and we'll fucking take the piss out of some shit when we come back. And we're back from the break, and this is Piss on This. And in our first clip, Dustin's going to play something from old Fuckface P-Robes.
Oh, yeah. So since we're talking about abusing sick children this week, I thought this clip that I found on Right Wing Watch of Pat Robertson is just right, where he tells us the lesser-known facts about multiple sclerosis.
And welcome back to the 700 Club. It's time to bring it on with your email questions. We're going to start with Tiffany. She writes, first, I just want to say I love you. Well, we love you too. I've been extremely ill for almost 7 years. I pray. I read the Bible. I've asked for healing and have been prayed over many times. What hurts the most is that I feel abandoned by God when I have loved him so much. I have MS. I am chemically and environmentally sensitive, which means I am allergic to many everyday things. There are only a few foods that I can eat. I feel forsaken. I've been watching your show for a long time now, waiting for my name to be called when you have a word of knowledge. And I'm so happy for those who say they are healed, but is healing not for everyone?
You know, when Jesus was here on earth, he healed everybody who came to him. There was not one person who came to Jesus who he turned back. He gave them some tests sometimes. He made them struggle sometimes. but every single one was healed that he came to Jesus. Now listen, I have dealt with MS. I have seen MS miraculously healed. Mm-hmm. I know this sounds strange, but I do believe that there's a spiritual component in MS that's like a demonic. And it's one of those things that you literally have to cast out. But I have seen people with MS get up out of a wheelchair and push the wheelchair out of the room where we were. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've been involved in it. But it is a horrible thing. It's a wasting disease that just eats all the energy and the fiber and everything. I would recommend, among other things, that you check with an endocrinologist to see if there's something, some chemical or something that could be done that would build up that immune system that you've got, or something that you're eating that's causing the problem. But you need, in the name of Jesus, to rebuke that thing and to say to your body, you will be whole.
Fuck you, Pat Robinson. Fuck you from the fucking bottom of your goddamn feet to the top of your fucking old ass head. You son of a bitch. That ain't right, man. He said some really fucked up shit in the past, like witchcraft is in used clothing and fucking anti-gay shit, but this is really fucked up, man. He basically just told somebody that God in it doesn't give a shit, right? So you're sick. She's calling you for comfort, and you're telling her that she's fucking demon possessed. And then not only that do you tell her that she's demon possessed, but you tell her to go see a fucking doctor. I'm sure she's seen a fucking 1,000 doctors, you fucking cocksucking old fucking bastard.
I mean, not only that, but he blamed her.
Yes.
Right. Not only that, but he blamed her. He comes out and he says, well, Jesus healed everyone that come to him and ask. So this is on you.
I got so angry, I forgot about the beginning of it when he was talking about Jesus healing everybody that fucking came to him. Like, that's supposed to give her some kind of hope. I mean, she did in the beginning say that she prayed every day and loved God with all of her heart, and for some reason he's forsaken her and not healed her. And your response to that is to say that Jesus had healed everybody.
Do you notice how he said he's been involved where people have, just got up out of their wheelchair and pushed it aside and they were miraculously healed? That's bullshit. I want to see the evidence of that. I don't want to hear bullshit testimony from a fucknut. And I also think that it was a scam. Those Peter Popoff does not count as your fucking miracle worker here.
That's right.
I mean, this is cruel. What I'm hearing. Really cruel.
Also, how dare you say that you've been very involved in MS? How dare you?
Honestly, how dare you from the beginning to the end of everything he said? Like, everything he said was fucking tragic.
And all I have to say is, fuck Pat Robertson and the 700 Club, because they're fucking retarded.
Oh, yeah, man.
And I don't mean to be crude, but he's an asshole.
He really is an old-ass fucking vampire, isn't he?
Totally a fucking crazy bastard.
I guess it also is a trend that everything that ails human suffering is demon possessed. I mean, the demon possessed is just the go-to thing for everything.
That's because it's the only answer he has.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, do we believe that Pat Robertson actually believes the shit that he's saying, or is he just a mean, crotchety old rich bastard that likes to fucking act like he's some kind of authority on shit?
I think whatever brings in the dollars, man. Whatever brings the money in.
Yeah, I think it's a money thing, too.
You know, and a lot of his videos, you know, they're funny and you can make fun of them, but there's nothing fucking funny about it. It's insidious.
And yeah, I'll say this too. Like, even when I was my most religious, I never hated myself enough to watch his shitty, boring fucking show.
I've never seen it, so I probably wouldn't watch it. And that's like, man, that's so fucking mean. That's just mean.
This dude ran for president.
He what?
He ran for president.
When?
I think it was the year that Reagan was going to go.
No. It was the 1880s.
Yeah, no, because he's a vampire. You know that he owns fucking diamond mines?
I'm sure he's fucking, like, killed some kids in there and buried them to make sure it gets good fucking spoils. I'm
sure he's got MS kids fucking working in there, the old cunt.
Oh. Anyway. All right, you guys want to move on to the next clip? It's funnier as long as you don't think about it too hard.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. Bring it up.
All right, so we've kind of shit on Antifa or Antifa, however you want to say it. I prefer to say it however they don't want to, because fuck those guys. We have
for the people that don't know what Antifa is, because there's some people that may just be like totally not into fucking following bullshit like us.
I would describe them as America's wannabe Taliban. At this moment, they intend to stop fascism as they see it at any means necessary. And by any means, they specifically mean violence. They're who showed up at Milo's events and started fires. They're the ones that started fires and, destroyed property during Trump's inauguration. They're the people that showed up at M103 in Canada. Pretty much, if you're going to be protesting in the United States, Canada, or even Europe, because I'm not sure how much they're connected, but it branched over from Europe. If you're going to be protesting on either side, you kind of have to worry about these guys showing up and truly starting violence.
Yeah, and just for levity, because when you said they're like the Taliban, when you say that, you mean in their recruiting practices, right?
In their recruiting practices and in their rhetoric, right? They're literally taking pictures of themselves with guns and talking about taking violence into the streets. They're talking about overthrowing the government in the United States because they don't think Donald Trump is a legitimate president, which that's a different discussion. Overthrowing the government with violent arms. This is one of those things where, part of me wishes this was the greatest prank of all time. Because in some of these pictures where they're standing with their ARs and shit, if you actually zoom in and pay attention to the guns, they're fake guns a lot of the times. They don't actually have the specs that a real gun would have. They're toy guns that they paint up to look real and pose for pictures and want to act like they're going to start a war.
So are these airsoft guns that they're using?
Some of them, but so in the video that we're talking about here, they literally have a tapestry in the background, so you can't see where they're shooting the video. In this one, their faces are exposed, but they've started hiding their faces in the videos, which cats out the bad guys. We've already seen you. So once again, part of me thinks that this might be a Poe situation. And to explain Poe, it's when you satirize someone so well they don't realize that you're making fun of them. It started from atheists going into Christian forums and posting Jesus riding a dinosaur, and Christians not realizing that was an atheist making fun of them. They just thought it was a Christian posting about Jesus riding dinosaurs. So that's what you have to wonder here. Is this legitimate? Anyway. So the video that we're going to take apart, we're going to do it over the next couple of weeks. The first part of it is how to spot a fake Antifa person. And the second part is how to spot a fascist. And we're going to start with the second part, which I have renamed How to Catch a Fascist. And he's going to give us 11 things to look out for because he spends too much time on BuzzFeed.
I just want to say one thing before it starts. I am also anti-fascist, but I'm not Antifa.
Well, everyone at home listen and see whether or not you fit their description of a fascist, and keep in mind that you being a fascist legitimizes violence to be used against you.
Okay, so for our next segment, how to identify fascists. So we've been receiving a lot of questions about how to identify fascists. What is normative fascism? Who are some of the figureheads of the fascist movement / alt-right movement? So we'll begin with number 1. Worshipping or the acceptance of notable fascist figureheads such as John Derbyshire, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Kellyanne Conway, Milo, Gordon B. Peterson, Richard Spencer, Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, Gert Wilder, Nigel Farage, and Marine Le Pen.
So you named a few people on there that aren't fascists. But anyways, okay.
Yeah, he named a few people, and frankly, I love Alex Jones. Not for the reasons he might think. But okay. I'm not sure admiring those people make you a fascist, but that's interesting. Let's see what the second one is.
Number 2, the feeling for the need for a strong military or strong borders.
Okay. Hold up a second. So, because I believe that my country should be protected from, attack, or because I think that my country should be safe, I'm a fucking fascist now? What a cunt.
That seems to be the narrative. And I would like to say, too, every time this guy smacks his fucking condescending, cock-sucking face, it pisses me off. Oh, listen for it. You won't be able to unhear it now. It, like, every time he takes a breath, he just into the microphone. All right, so we're going to move on to the third one.
Number 3, the adoration of nationalism. That is a huge one to identify somebody who is fascist.
All right, nationalist. That's
So does that mean everybody that's patriotic is now a fascist?
People want to split hairs and say that patriotism and nationalism are two separate things, and that's true to a certain extent. They're casting a really wide net here. Once again, what bothers me about this is that they believe that the people that are fascists should be treated with violence, and this is how low their bar is to start that violence. This one, I think they lack a little self-awareness. We're like this.
Number 4, the belief that one's group is a victim, believing myths such as white genocide, cultural Marxism, or meritocracy.
Well, fuck some of the professors in university who believe in cultural Marxism. I'm sorry, they're fascists now. Fuck.
Oh yeah, so cultural Marxism would be like everybody has the same culture.
Outcome.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
It's going to be the same outcome. Like, gays should be equally represented in every, position of power, and there should be like equal women CEOs, and there should be like.
Yeah, I meant to say this in the first thing. It's Jordan Peterson, not Gordon
Peterson.
Yeah.
Oh. Did zero research.
Fuck Gordon Peterson, but Jordan.
All right, so the hypocrisy is going to get a little bit deeper here. Let's see how it goes.
And number 5, the belief in the beauty and usefulness of violence. It is a huge one on how to identify somebody who is fascist.
Really?
Pot calling kettle black. That is bad.
Yeah, that's how we all noticed that you guys were kind of fascist.
Yeah.
That was the first clue. Oh.
That's authoritarian in and of itself, is it not?
It is. See, and that's where I have to say, like, come on. Are there really people this dumb to stand in front of a camera?
I wish people could actually see this fucking guy, because he's about as threatening as a puppy holding a fucking kitten.
Oh. I'll tell you what, Ed, do you want to make a picture of this guy, the thumbnail for this episode?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So just come to our Spreaker page and check out the thumbnail. All right, so you ready for number 6?
Yes. Can't wait. Born ready.
Number 6, priority on crime and punishment.
A priority on crime and punishment.
Okay, so like unlawfulness is not fascism, I guess. Like, I like my streets to be safe. I want criminals to be punished for their actions. Yep.
But this is a direct threat towards police officers in some respects, is it not?
I would assume.
Yes.
Police officers.
Yeah, this is, and people that support them. This is against like the Blue Lives Matter type of narrative. So they're calling them out as people that deserve violence as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, so you ready for number 7?
Yep.
Number 7, strange passion for specific music genres, such as...
No, shut your fucking mouth.
I know. Hold on, though. Okay.
Number 7, strange passion for specific music genres, such as skinhead music. There are some alt-right parody groups that you may be aware of, such as Blink 1488, 1488. It's like
First of all, no, I hadn't heard of them, but thank you. I'm going to be Googling them later.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And second, I love what he's about to get into, the whole 1488. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. All right.
The thing that Hitler used to say about preserving the white race, that's 14, and 88 is the initials of Hitler. And a big one, especially recently, is black metal. Black metal is historically been very exclusive to only white people and has a lot of racist and fascistic undertones. Metal music in general.
Metal is like the opposite of fascism.
Yes. Yeah, it's anti-authoritarian.
I'm so confused.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I was in like not a black metal band, but a heavy metal band for like 3 years. And it's very inclusive, actually. If you show up and you love metal and you want to fight and enjoy the music, no one gives a fuck what you do. They don't care how old you are, what color you are. It's all about the love of the music and the love of the fight that the crowd is. You know, I don't. Anyway, let's get back to what this cuck thinks.
Metal music is.
I love how he says metal.
We've had a real problem with that, with such bands such as Marduk and what was the other one? Cradle of Filth is a huge example of
Marduk?
Black metal music that is just deeply laced in a lot of racist undertones, and that is a great example. You see somebody in a T-shirt, and they match some of the other examples. You can tell that that person has sympathies with the fascist movement.
Start picking fights with people in death metal shirts, please. It'll be the end of Antifa.
David, as a music major, did you ever learn about society's problems with black metal music being fascistic in nature?
No.
Do you understand where that comes from?
No.
The thing is, this reminds me of like my Christian school, actually, right? Like there was evil music that taints you, and like, and movies and media and all that. And I'm actually seeing this repeated a lot in like the regressive type of authoritarian, where they think that media is controlling people or tainting people or is some kind of expression of evil.
Well, this is stop policing. This is exactly what it is. You can't listen to the music, or there's music that is not kosher. There's TV programs that's going to come out next that's not kosher.
It's fascistic.
Books.
It's fascism.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
It's authoritarianism, and it's fascism. Remember, they said that they were going to kick your ass if you did this stuff. Seek and Destroy, Metallica. Oh no, that's fascistic too.
Right. Clearly, he's talking about the Jews.
Clearly.
Seek and destroy the Jews. Yeah. That's the next line in the song, if you didn't know.
Can I call this guy Cuckster Van Cuckster?
Of course, yes. In fact, I don't think we should call him anything else from now on. See, when Metallica says, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire, they mean for the ovens.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you didn't know that, did you? No.
Oh, man. That's
now
awful.
You know.
That's
you know.
Awful. You stank up my computer screen with that. Jesus Christ. Kill it with fire, god damn it.
Yes,
give me fuel to kill it with fire.
That's what I'm saying, yes. Yes.
Okay, do you have anything else from Cuckster Von Cuckster?
We have 3 more ways to spot a fascist. If you didn't think the net was wide enough, here we go.
I'm still confused. I'm so confused.
Well, that's because you're paying attention.
Okay. Go ahead.
Number 8, a love for European culture or identifying with it.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Now, this is one that we had on our previous list. There is a lot having to do with like Thor's hammer necklaces and.
So now they're going after the comic books.
Oh my god, this is my favorite.
The Avengers are fucked.
Yeah. No wonder why one of these guys got taped to a fucking yield sign.
Oh my
Jesus
god.
fucking Murphy.
It's just lip wrist. Just, oh my god. Okay,
And,
so
a penis
I've been watching
tattoo.
I've been watching the Vikings History Channel drama, like the name of the show is.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Okay, all right. So I didn't know that I was a fascist for enjoying this show about a European culture. Oh my god! All right, so let's finish him educating us on the whole Thor hammer thing.
Okay, can't wait. Drop inside.
And it's kind of like they're trying to make it like the crucifix, like a Christian cross kind of thing. But really, it's kind of like they just went to Hot Topic and now they're trying to be cool. That's what they want you to believe at the most, but it's all a part of this whole black metal music thing. So if you see somebody with a Thor's hammer necklace and they match some of these other identifiers, and that they're also claiming to be Antifa, that those are some red flags, especially.
Okay, so now I'm really confused because I thought he was telling us how to spot a fascist, and now he's my brain hurts.
Well, he's teaching you how to spot a fascist that is hiding amongst the Antifa ranks.
Oh,
right?
I gotcha.
Right. So
Amongst our mix.
So that's what the first part is, how to spot a fake Antifa. So he's kind of going back to that.
So he's like speaking on a fucking corporate espionage level.
He is. That's what he thinks that metal loving fascists like myself are going out and dyeing my hair bright blue and putting on a mask and going out and acting like I'm Antifa for some reason. I guess to gather intel on the location for the upcoming war. Yeah. Well, he's a fucking nut job. By the way, I named that last clip, Dave, you'll fucking love this.
Oh, Dave, and I did.
Yes, you did. I called that. This one I didn't name. It's just called 9.mp3.
Okay.
9 as a 9.
Number
9.
9. I wish it was. No. They're just this number 9.
Tell me there's one that says if you're into Shizer porn, you're a fascist.
You know what? That's how you know he's not legit.
Yes. Because he didn't bring up the shit porn. Yes.
Oh, fucking hell. All right. Number 9.
Number 9. The obsession with subversive icons such as Pepe, these purple birds that are being spammed everywhere. And now the purple bird thing, I think it's a little more contrived. They spam them everywhere. I don't know about that one. I think it's just they're trying to make us seem like that's racist, but that's ridiculous. Otherwise, I think Facebook would have gotten rid of that by now. But this recent one has been going around.
It's killing me. He started as you know what else isn't racist? Frogs. Frogs are not racist. None of it is. They're fucking with you.
He is a crazy fucker.
Oh, he's like, I don't think the bird is racist. I think they're just being
I love how he's all serious too. Like this is like a total serious public announcement. And he's like, his personality is so fucking flat too. The entire thing is monotone. He's like, and another way to spot a fascist is if they have a swastika tattoo. Like those would be the things that I would be looking for. Like is he trying to is somebody trying to call violence upon people for their beliefs? Kind of like that guy is. Yeah, check. That's pretty fascist. Yeah. Do they have a swastika tattoo? Yeah, okay. Do they say things like I'll Hitler and all that fucking shit? Yeah, then you're most likely dealing with a fascist. If they listen to fucking heavy metal and they happen to like frogs and birds, That does not make them a fucking fascist, you dumb motherfucker. Some frogs will get you high. I would like one of those frogs. I would keep that frog in my house in an aquarium and get high every fucking day and count all the ways that I'm not a fascist, you dumb fucking cuck. Cucky Von Cuckster.
That is a Colorado River toad, just for the people playing the home version of this game. And if you're wondering why I know that, fuck yourself.
Dustin?
Yeah.
I can picture Halloween being a fucking nightmare. Kids being beat up because they were dressed as Thor.
I was watching this video, and I was like, what about all the people that just like the Thor comic books and like the whole? I don't watch this shit. What is that? Justice League? Which one is that? Does he show up in?
Avengers.
What the fuck ever, you nerds.
That's fucking DC. Justice League is DC, you cunt.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Talk about shit I don't know or care about. Thank you for correcting me.
Jesus. Oh, okay, they're fucking Star Wars and Doctor Who and fucking Star Trek is so much better.
Oh. 1 out of 3 actually appeals to me.
Whatever. They're all the same bullshit.
I don't give a fuck about that campy Doctor Who shit. And Star Wars is an incest opera in space. I appreciate the pretty colors, right? But if I want to watch a sci-fi show, I'll tune into Star Trek, where there's actually science. And
where they all like wear onesies and fucking pretend to travel around. And
hey, look, man, you can't have a communist utopia without a uniform. Okay, well, it can't happen. It can't happen. Step 1, onesies.
Step 1, make everybody look as sexually unattractive as possible. Step 2, make them speak as sexually unattractive as possible. Step 3, they are all sexually unattractive as possible.
What I just learned is that Dave judges movies on how many of the characters he wants to fuck.
Pretty much.
He just watches TV shows and he's like, my dick isn't moving. Nothing's going on here.
What's going on? Exactly.
Let me go and watch Thor.
I have 2 heads. Yeah, Thor's a pretty man.
Then my dick will go wild. Is that
pretty
what?
Man.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Blonde hair,
fascist
muscles. Plus, Plus,
you have some kind of affinity for Europeans.
Well, I do. That's what I was about to say. Plus, I'm obsessed with the European culture. So, making me a fan.
Well, there goes my baguettes and croissants. I'm fucked.
Okay, guys, we gotta let him finish telling us about Thor.
Oh shit, he's not done.
The WoW reaction on Facebook, the WoW emoji. I don't know what to make of it yet. It kind of troubles me, but it makes sense because of the articles that have been going around about it.
He's trying to say that people that use like the WoW emoji on Facebook or shit, that's fascist.
Well, it's got to be white, overlord's whiteness or something, right?
No, I actually think because okay. So I read an article a little while ago where they tried to say that the whole like laughing, crying face is like racist or oppressive. Oppressive is the word they used because it's used to mock people. So I think they're going for the same thing with this WoW face.
My wife is a hardcore fascist then, for sure. She hits that WoW button all the time.
Oh. Was that a sex joke? Did I miss a sex joke there? She hits that WoW button all the time?
No, Ed hits the WoW button all the time, and she makes the WoW face all the time.
Here's 10. I called it cops.
So number 10, the trust and protection of the police and the police state.
Shut the fuck up.
I.e. bootlickers.
I.e. bootlickers. Shut
I.e.
fucking...
bootlickers.
You know what, though? Listen, if that guy was getting stomped, which I'm sure would happen, because, like I said, if you fucking seen the guy, you would understand. Like, he's basically a hobbit. He would be the first little Cucky Von Cuckster screaming for the police to help. So, I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, I don't like fascists either. And if a fascist group puts out a video saying 10 ways to spot an SJW or 10 ways to spot a fucking communist or 10 ways to spot a center person, I'll make fun of that shit too. Especially if he looks like a goddamn hobbit.
And I'll take that as an opportunity, guys. If you find anything particularly cringeworthy or worthy for us to take a piss out of, send it to us, and we'll talk about it on the show if it's crazy enough. All right, so that was number 10.
Yeah, don't send us a video of your girlfriend or boyfriend because you're mad at them.
That's what Dave said.
Yeah.
My email is dmdark840. Okay.
I wasn't talking about sex videos. I was talking about videos for us to take the piss out of. You're going to start fucking taking the piss out of...
okay, so Dave does want the sex videos.
I do. You're right.
All right, so this is number 11. And this is going to be the end of our clips here.
Aw.
And number 11, the obsession with conspiracy theories.
Didn't
like
he
this one
just
going
rattle
around
off like
about
10 conspiracy theories? Didn't he just rattle 10 off? Okay, is this real? Is this? Am I living in real life? Is this real? Are we sure this is real?
No, that's what I said up front. Like, okay, Dave. I said, like, is this a Poe? And you're like, no, dude, I think this is real.
But I didn't listen to all 11.
Oh, my God. We'll bring in the video where they're telling all the men in Antifa to cross-dress. To show their support.
Okay.
We'll bring that in at some point. All right, so this is number 11.
Pizzagate. That's right. The one where kids are getting raped at pizza parties all over the country. I don't know who believes in this kind of shit.
Nobody. That's not what Pizzagate is. That's not what it is.
I actually don't think he's a Poe anymore now because at the beginning he said Alex Jones was a fascist. And that was like legitimately an Alex Jones deal, right?
Yes, it was. All right, so there's a few more seconds of it.
Okay.
But it's like Alex Jones and people like that, like I was talking about, they fill the alt-right's head with this kind of nonsense and they go along with the ride. There's so many more examples. We have to keep an eye out for these people.
Why?
So that is all we have for today. I hope that these two lists have been informative and helpful for you. We have a lot more to come.
Oh yeah, it was completely informative. I now know that fascists listen to heavy metal. They like the comic book Thor. They are obsessed with European culture. And they're into conspiracy theories.
They don't hate cops.
Yeah.
All right. They also listen to any prominent right-wing speakers.
That's right.
Yeah.
They like conspiracy theories. What the fuck?
Anything else we missed here?
No, he's just labeling people and chucking them in a box, isn't he? He's just like, othered, in that fucking box. Fuck you, cuck.
Well, I would like to know if any of the listeners are now punch-worthy. I would like to know how many Nazis that didn't know they were Nazis until they were just enlightened by Boston Antifa about their
excuse me,
Nazi status.
Cuckster von Cuckster.
Cuckster von Cuckster. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the show. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm good.
This was the Wayward Atheist Podcast. Visit our new website at waywardatheists.com. Follow us on Spreaker, spreaker.com/waywardatheists. You can email us at waywardatheistpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at waywardatheists and on facebook.com/waywardatheists. If you enjoy our content, feel free to leave us a review on iTunes and feel free to support us at patreon.com/waywardatheists.